How's it going? It's Rocky. Welcome to week 42 of my content where I share my experience trading the futures market. And this segment I used to refer to as my 5 to 9 after my 9 to 5 because it was pretty much a side hustle after my 9 to 5 W2. But lately, I'm not going to refer to it as really my journey to break even because I am in a deep hole for the year 2022. Well, stick around and see how I did this week on my attempt to recover on quarter 4. So what we have here is the chart for the week where each candlestick represents 1 hour. And basically what I'm showing here is the MYM, which is the micro E-mini. And what that means is it's 1/10 of the YM, which is what I was trading for most of the year. Because my overall cash in my portfolio has decreased a significant amount, I can only now trade only one YM, which unfortunately right now I am holding on to a YM contract, but really I'm changing my strategy a little bit because I know one of my weakness is I hold on to something. So what I'm doing right now is I'm going to ignore that one YM that I'm holding on to, and I'm going to wait until December 15th when that contract expires. Yes, this is me believing that there is some sort of recovery in Q4, but as we all know, the volatility and what's happening in UK and just all the doom and gloom articles that are coming down, that might not happen at all. So it's my hope that it'll recover, but I'm definitely watching it closely and I'll close that out as needed. But in the interim, you can see here on the MYM towards the end of the week, I decided to start trading MYM and really, I had a few goals in doing that. And as I posted in a lot of my social media handles, I'm doing this because one, to pretty much go through my risk management again. Another one is really just to gain some confidence that my system definitely does work. And really my screw up was based on, following my gut for some trades and not following my rules, where I got caught and I pretty much was shocked that I couldn't even do anything to remedy that. So I'm trading small again. It happens. It's just to basically restart the process again, and hopefully I'll do better for Q4. I haven't done trade analysis in a while because, as you know, I haven't been trading. But with this micro, I want to go through what I did on Friday on the MYM. I took a total of 5 trades where I was profitable in 4 out of the 5 trades. Now, I want to show you how this is really the ideal way I was trading, where, I was able to get up to 20K in profits year to date twice this year. But of course, for twice, I also lost all of that money. So what I have on the left is the time base, the right side is a tick base. I'm going to zoom in on the first 3 trades that I have here just to show you what's going on. With the volatility of the market and the volume that's occurring, I watched the time base, but not as close. I've been depending more on the tick base because it's just way too quick, right? And you can see here on this first trade that I had, I went long because the MACD crossed over here, and then stochastic RSI were on the overbought side, and that's when I like to go long. You can see I entered at 4 contracts at 29,859. And I was able to exit at 29,909. So it's about 50 points on the MYM. And basically with 4 contracts, that's $2. It's just $100 there, which with a trade that started pretty much at, 727 here. And here it's 728. So that's less than a minute, $100. Nice and quick there. Second trade here was a short. And the reason I went short was at that time, it did cross over going down. So histogram, you can see it going green to red. It didn't show it here because it's a lagging indicator. But when I did enter, that's what occurred. And we were on the oversold side. It did pop a little, but, it did go short again. And for this one, entered at 941 and exited at 899. So that's roughly about 40 points. So with, again, 4 contracts, that's about $80 on that trade right there. And that was pretty good. Again, this one, entered at 7:39, exited at 7:41, 2 minutes. see, really quick type of trading here. And then the third one here, I think with this one, market was going a little slower. Of course, I'm busy doing other things. So basically, I entered here because at that time, again, it crossed over. I was a little bit more aggressive because I was up for the day. So I'm showing you what's going on through my head, right? Human nature, this happens, something that I'm trying to work on. I think when you're up for the day, you become a bit more aggressive. When I entered this, I was banking on it being on the overbought side when I want to go long. But anyway, with this trade, entered at 833, and then we exited at 918. So let's just say that's a roughly 90 points or so. So with 4 contracts, that's $180. So from those first 3 trades, pretty straightforward, which is pretty good. And then I want to go through what happened here, with human nature, right? Took a little break, and then when I had a little break again later in the day, I'm gonna zoom in into these 2 trades I did here, and this is where I wanted to practice my risk management a little bit. So I'll go through again on the right because it's a lot more clear with the tick base. With this one, I went long because it had crossed over. We were on the overbought side. And with this one, I left the white line on purpose so you can see where my average is when I entered, which is at 29,807. You can see from this one, I had a lot of opportunities on the top to exit here, but I'm focused on my work. This is just something that I wanted to do on the side, so I protected myself with an OCO, which is what I always do with most of my trades. So if things got out of hand, I won't lose too much. And this is something that I was very proud of this, even though I lost. Because in the past, I would place an OCO, and I have a tendency to cancel the OCO. And because of that, that's how I get stuck holding a bag. And before you know it, I've lost so much, and I'm too much in a shock to really do anything about it. And that's how I've lost all the significant amount. But with this one, I was proud because I placed the OCO. And then when it was going under, you can see here, I was stopped out at 745, so roughly about 60 points, so about $120. And I was glad that I allowed the OCO to do what it was supposed to do. I had the discipline for this one to trust on my OCO instead of trying to cancel it, which is a human nature or just a natural thing that I do sometimes, which is bad. And as you can see, it dropped quite a bit, and it could have been a lot worse. And what I like about this, I was able to recover. So basically, I was patient, and later on I saw an opportunity here when it finally did cross over. We were on the overbought side, and I did enter long on this one. And this time I was slightly a bit more aggressive. That's what happens, right? Because you try to basically make up for the mess that you did prior to that. And this can be a bit dangerous, but again, I'm showing you what happened to me today, and this is something that just constantly happens when you're trading sometimes, so you gotta know what yourself. But anyway, with this one, entered at 29,708 and ended up exiting at 29,758. So that's about 50 points, but since it's 6 contracts times 3, so $150. So the previous one I lost about 120. This one, my redemption trade gained 150. So I guess you could say it was a net of about $30 from those 2 trades. But I got a lot of confidence back on this MYM, so I like how this turned out. When I have more time, again, I'll start trading the MYM again at night and maybe during the daytime whenever I'm on break, either lunch break or any opportunity I have during the day. But really, I'm pretty much handling my weakness by the weakness of holding on. That's on the YM. So like what I said, I have 1 contract, I'm bag holding. I'm just gonna leave that in the background, and I'm just gonna actively trade the MYM right now. So I want to go through my account statement for this week. I know I missed a release last week, but last week was a very bad week, and I guess moving forward, just assume that if I didn't post for the week, it means I had a bad week. Again, I'm refraining from showing my negative weeks, because even though it's transparent and it's something that's noble per se, no one seemed to really enjoy watching the losses. So for right now, I think I'm only gonna post when I'm positive for the week. For this week, unfortunately, I was red again, but I wanted to post just to show you what my game plan is for Q4 and to show you how I did with the MYM, because I think the trades that I did, those 5 trades, were pretty valuable for the week. So right now it's October 14th, Friday, 2022. It's about 7:30 p.m. And the account statement that I'm showing here starts from Sunday, October 9th to today, Friday, October 14th. Now, if we're looking at the description here, I do want to point out that, I did deposit $1,000 to the account. That's when, had to deal with margin calls, 2-day margin calls. It's been tough. But, it's something that used to freak me out a lot, but I've gotten better at managing it. But it's never a comfortable situation to be in. So really, I want to get to a point where I never get a margin call. It's very stupid to get a margin call. It happens, and I know how to get out of it, but I never want to put myself in that situation again in the future. Again, I want to point out here too, I did withdraw $1,000 here, so it's net zero on the deposit and withdrawals that I have for the week. And then just going back on my previous contents, some people question, you didn't blow up your account, you still have money on there. But I mean, if you look through my Excel, I started the account at $19,000 for the year, and you know that I'm negative $50,000 or $60,000 year to date. I've had to deposit almost $60,000 to the account to keep it afloat, avoid the margin calls. In reality, yeah, I've more than blown up my account, and the only reason I have money was because that's when I funded it. But net, I'm pretty negative for the year. Not something to be proud of, but wanted to show you what's really going on there. Okay, now we'll go through how we did. Our ending cash for the week is $16,436.33. Again, even though I deposited $1,000, I did withdraw it back, so that's net zero. And our starting balance for the week was $17,427.46. So for the week, fortunately, we were down at negative $991.13. But reason I'm sharing this week is basically I like how it worked out with how I was trading those micros, so I wanted to at least share that. But yeah, that's my content for the week. Sorry, it's a bit long than the usual 10 minutes that I try to release, but wanted to give everyone an update. And if you've been in the dumps like me, just take it one at a time. Take it one day at a time. Trade smaller. That's really the only way you could figure out how to get out of that funk, right? Anyway, that's my content for the week. Thank you for still following my journey. I really hope that we get to at least break even by the end of the year. And hopefully I can still give you another content next week when I'm positive. But it's been a volatile market, so good luck to everyone that's trading there. All right, have a good one.